railroad is the genesis of this community. It's the reason why Tracy is where it is. Moving from Ellis back up the track a little bit to Tracy was a deliberate act, and in doing so, put us at the bow tie of activity.
And watching the railroad, what it did and what it brought to Tracy, and what it gave us youth, the opportunity to express ourselves and say, hey, there's nothing wrong with not being portable, or being stable. You can move on and express yourself through movement. And to me, the railroad's been a blessing to all of us. I mean, even today, you hear the sound of the train coming through, and there's action happening, something's moving. And something from here could end up in New York, and make a difference in those communities over there.
At one point in time, it's gone through now, I think, a cycle, and it's beginning to come back. And I think what happened years and years ago in terms of Tracy's location and how that got mapped into railroads creates an opportunity for us in the future in how we're going to redevelop downtown.
I guess we forget that in 1910, the major mode of transportation was a horse and buggy, and that automobiles were just starting to come into prominence. And through the 20s and 30s, the growth of the automobile has really impacted Tracy, where before transportation was all centered on the railroad. And then it moved out to 11th Street, which became part of the Lincoln Highway system, and then later Highway 50. And so there were a number of restaurants and service stations that opened up on 11th Street, and that became a major function of Tracy. 11th
Street, when we first came here, was the main arm between, say, Stockton and San Francisco. You have to go down 11th Street. And then all of a sudden, overnight it didn't happen overnight, but it seemed like 205 showed up.
Or with the highway system, we called the Triangle, and it was easy for truckers to get in here with the freeways on both sides of town. And so I think with our freeway system around here, it's helped the transportation problem.
Tracy's in the Triangle. It was decided by Southern Pacific to take most of its activity to Roseville, and so a lot of the railroad activity in downtown was curtailed. It changed how traffic patterns in Tracy happen and so forth, but as you said, it moved and shifted so much onto highways. We happen to be inside the Triangle, which is the I-5, I-580, I-205 triangle. And that has created another kind of hub for us. Again, Tracy's at the center point of transportation for Northern California, and really parts east to and south in a number of ways. And so it's had a distinct mark over how we've developed and how we're planning our future.